Today's scripture reading will be from Acts chapter 16, verse 25. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce Nhamo Marnnga. Nhamo has been the director of the Mutare School of Preaching in Mutare, Zimbabwe for 10 years now. He and his wife, Marnnga, have been married for 24 years, 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. And this is his second time to be here in Lubbock and to be visiting here at Sunset. He'll go from here down to visit some other congregations and then back home to Mutare in Zimbabwe. But he has had a very American experience this trip. This was his first Halloween to get to see the costumes. He did not dress up, but yeah, to hand out candy. And he got to experience for the very first time corn dogs. And he was very gracious, and he was very, and then we did finally explain they are not made from dog. And so we were okay with that. But Nhamo, come and preach the word to us.
It is indeed my great pleasure to be amongst the Sunset family, our faculty, students, and all those who make, Sunset do what it is doing for the Lord. I shall play a small video about where I am coming from and why I am here, but let me first make these few remarks. You are in the US. You are privileged to be here with available resources that surround you. I'm in Africa, in Zimbabwe. I was presenting to a few students in Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, and also a few students in Nashville, and I had 2 critical questions they asked me during my presentation. They said, Nhamo, for how many times have you been coming to the US? I said, this is my 3rd time. And they said this question, don't you want to stay here? How do you feel about the US? We want to offer you a green card? I smiled, I appreciated, and I said, I'm sorry. I would rather be in Zimbabwe where I am, because that's where I am needed most. I'm here in the US. God placed you here for a purpose. And God placed me down there for a purpose. I'm here that we may come together, we may partner to enlarge God's kingdom. And when you look at the book of Acts chapter 16, verse number 25, that have been read, to Paul and Silas, being in prison was another place with a difference. God placed them there for them. It was an opportunity, another chance to witness Christ in a different environment. And that is the reason why they faced or they handled the prison-like conditions with prayer and singing. So, God placed us in different situations. God placed us in different prison-like environments for the purpose, for creating an opportunity for us to witness Christ in a different environment. Regardless of your condition, regardless of what you are going through, regardless of the challenges that may be horrible in your life, as Christians, those different circumstances, those different prison-like conditions are God's given opportunities for us to witness Christ. You could be going through a terminal illness. You could be going through a rough time in your marriage. You could be going through different challenges with young children being hooked into drugs. God will place you in an environment, in a situation which is an opportunity for you to witness Christ. No wonder why Paul and Silas had to pray and to sing. And somebody somewhere will always be listening. The prisoners were listening, the jailer was listening, and there was conversion in the prison. So God placed Paul and Silas in this prison for the purpose that they witness Christ to the prison-like environment. So, like I said, God placed you here in the U.S. for a purpose. God placed me and the rest of the team in Africa for a purpose. And we need to come together in our environments and reach out to the lost, that God, through his infinite wisdom and word, may be glorified when we populate heaven without complaining about our situations, without crying and murmuring to God for placing us in difficult circumstances. But under those circumstances that we operate in, we've been prevailed with an opportunity to witness Christ. I would like to congratulate the students who are here this morning. You made an excellent decision. We'll be praying for you and pray that God will provide you with an opportunity, with a chance to witness Christ in a different environment, not the US. I've been in your classes. You sit on comfortable pews, water on your tables. Anytime you go for a snack, that's not what we do in Africa. 1 meal a day, sit on the hard, difficult pews. But at the end, regardless of those circumstances, God placed us there for a purpose, to witness God, so that souls may be saved. I'm inviting you, the current students, to make it your ambition to come down to Africa, visit us in Mutare, so that we experience what we go through. I'm here with you. I hope to see you down there with me in my environment and see how we witness Christ in the same context of the world that we live in. So at this moment in time, I'm going to show you a small video of the school where I'm coming from. We have our elderly preachers who are being invited to glory through death, and we have taken it upon ourselves to train young people to fill in the gap, to keep on preaching the gospel until Christ's second coming. And I use this small video to talk or to create opportunities with those who want to partner with us as an institution by scholarshiping students who will in turn go out and preach the gospel. So it's not really intended for you, but if you feel you can be part of this small video to understand where I'm coming from and what I do, it will be very helpful. Thank you. Let us have the short video, and I'll make concluding remarks after the small video. Thank you.
Mutare School Preaching is the arm of the church here in Zimbabwe. It equips and also trains men and women that they may go out and to evangelize and also preach the lost souls. Soul winning is the most important thing which we are focusing on.
Mutare School of Preaching was established in 1958 at No Mission, and it moved to the current site in Mutare as Mutare School of Preaching in 1971.
Pano takaenengwa nerombo rakanaka rokuti mamissionary edu atakatinawo vana Pama, vana Gifford nana Michel vakatifundisa zvikuru kwazvo kuti tigonewo kuva vadzidzisi vakuru veshoko raMwari.
To date, it has produced over 400 preachers of the gospel who are spread throughout the whole world, preaching the gospel and establishing congregations.
Pamaore takatanga Church of Christ ipapo ikava inobudirira zvikuru yekuti panguva ino machurches macongregations ayabereka ari around 14-15.
The impact that Mutare School of Preaching has had has led to the creation of over 500 congregations of Christ. Before the establishment of the school, there were barely 3 or 4 congregations of the Lord's Church in Zimbabwe.
Kukosha kwechikoro ichi kwakaita kuti shoko raMwari rikasike kunzikwa mukati menyika ino yeZimbabwe.
We have a rigorous training curriculum that is anchored in the Bible and other supporting courses that will equip them when they are in the field, and also the life skills that will enable them to survive and also in a way help themselves while helping others preaching the gospel.
We have a number of people who have trained through the school. Others have gone to be with the police. Some also have gone to be with the army. For us to train a preacher from first year to third year, we would require a figure of $4,500 to go through the school. Zimbabwe presently is under harsh conditions. Politically, socially, morally, economically, things are not right on the ground. 95 or 96% of the people in Zimbabwe are not employed. So the 4% are the only ones who are employed. So they cannot take the whole burden on their own. So we need support because of the hyperinflation on which we are going through.
I am one of the students who is supported by a local, locals or by a local sponsor, but because of economic challenges, they are finding it difficult to pay my school fees.
We have many students who may want to come and be trained to become preachers of the gospel, but they lack that sponsorship. We have enough room to accommodate as many as 40 students, but to date, as I speak, we have less than 20. I'm inviting you as well to contribute towards our sustainable projects that we feel will continue to help Mutare School of Preaching to be self-reliant. We need Mutare School of Preaching because men need the true gospel.
We have a number of students who are coming from other countries for training. So those ones who are coming from Madagascar, Kenya, South Sudan, and other countries, they are here in Zimbabwe because of the soundness of the doctrine which is taught here.
Me, I want to be a preacher, to preach the gospel to the rest of the world, to win the soul. As Jesus give us a commission that is in Matthew 28, verse 18 to 20, saying that, go to the well, preach my word. So I have that feeling that I have to be a preacher, to know Bible, then I give the word to the rest of the world.
Since I've been here since February 2018, I've learned a lot. I can see it through my attitude, my way of doing, my way of interacting with others.
We feel that we need to train more preachers in Zimbabwe, that we may have many preachers in the field, whereby some of the congregants are moving more than 10, even 20 kilometers going for church services. We feel that at least the radius, which is maximum, should be at least 6 or 7 kilometers to a congregation. My heart bleeds because these people, when they are still young and energetic, they go to church services. But as old age catches up with them, they stop going because the church will be very far away from them.
Isusu tine shungu yokuti mukati menyika ino mune anozvidadza kuti masangano. Tinoda kuti tizadze Zimbabwe neshoko raMwari.
What has inspired us as Mutare School of Preaching to continue in existence is our graduates, whom we have, for example, Sekuru Pesigwini, who has spent the rest of his lifetime preaching the gospel. He is a Norway graduate, and during his lifetime to now, he was able to establish over 100 congregations working along with the younger preachers. Not only him, we have Dr. Cambion Mugweni, who has also invested his lifetime resources, to spread and establish congregations all over the country.
Ini ndinoda kuti ndife ndichiparidza shoko raMwari nekuti tofanira kuriparidza nguva dzese kusvikira ndafa.
This is a short video of what we are doing. And you have seen the old preachers, old graduates of the school, and we have taken it upon ourselves to replace them through influencing young people. Allow me at this point in time to say I'm really grateful to Sunset International Bible Institute here in the US, because we are part and parcel of that big family. Mutare School of Preaching is under the Sunset family. And we really appreciate that partnership, that sense of belonging, and we have done more than we were before we were part of this big family. So allow me to express my sincere and selfless gratitude for belonging to this family and all the effort that you take upon yourself. And lastly, all who have visited us, Doug, Speedy, Tim, and other guys, we have passed on. They've made an impact on the school. And we hope more will be done. And I want to encourage you, brothers, that use the resources that we have here to spread the gospel. God has entrusted within you, it's a privilege to be an American. It's a privilege, it's God-given, and use it wisely. Let's share the gospel. Let's go out there and do what God has given upon our shoulders to do. Within your communities, where you are coming from, within your family, and elsewhere beyond your borders. I have traveled over 9,000 miles to be here. How many miles are you going to travel? This is a challenge to my students who are here, my fellow students. How many miles are you going to travel with the gospel? May God bless you, and I thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.